What's up, Guardians of Dominion? Zeus here. Fluffy has the community split, the theories are flying, and the first reactions only scratched the surface. That's why this follow-up matters right now. Today we're going deeper into what Fluffy really means for the meta, the risks most players aren't seeing yet, and why ignoring these interactions could cost you battles sooner than you expect. There are two main discussions I want to cover here, and the first one is about heroes that will be countered by Fluffy. Before I even start naming specific heroes, there's something very important that needs to be clearly understood. Fluffy's ability to counter basic attacks is directly tied to his energy gain. This is not a passive effect that starts working from the first second of the battle. Because Fluffy is expected to be positioned in the middle or back line, and not on the front line, his energy generation will naturally be slower compared to tanks or front heroes. That means his counter to basic attacks will not activate immediately at the start of the fight. Early on, basic attack heroes will still be able to do their job without being punished right away, and that timing window matters a lot. However, things change dramatically once Fluffy reaches his ultimate. The second activation of his ultimate skill can actually come very fast if the enemy team relies heavily on high basic attack damage. The reason is simple: reflected damage feeds into the entire interaction. If the reflected portion of damage is high enough, Fluffy may even eliminate the damage dealer himself. And if that reflected damage turns out to be close to, or even equal to, 100%, then we are talking about a very dangerous mechanic that can completely flip fights. At that point, basic attackers are no longer just dealing damage, they are actively risking their own survival. There's another very important detail that we simply don't know yet. Can Fluffy be patronaged by Mara, and if yes, can Mara extend the duration of this 12-second effect? And on top of that, can Polaris, through Northern Lights, extend the duration of this skill as well? If Fluffy is classified as a control-oriented hero, and his skill design strongly points in that direction, then these interactions become very realistic. And if they work, the impact on the meta will be massive. Now, when we talk about heroes that rely heavily on basic attacks, the list is long and very familiar. We're talking about Celeste, Kira, Jew, Ishmael, Kayla, Lara Croft, Daredevil, Astrid, and Lucas, Artemis, Fox and Ginger. All of these heroes depend on consistent basic attacks to function properly, and that makes them natural targets for Fluffy's design. And there's one more layer on top of this. As mentioned earlier, Cascade changes the game entirely by converting intelligence heroes' basic attacks into magic damage. In that scenario, Fluffy doesn't just counter physical attackers, he effectively counters all intelligence heroes running on a Cascade team. That's a very wide net, and it dramatically increases Fluffy's relevance across different compositions. Now let's move to the second discussion, and this one is even more impactful: cancelling ultimate skills. This is clearly a form of hard control, but right now we don't know exactly how the developers will classify it. Control effects in Hero Wars are usually very clearly defined, and this mechanic sits right on the edge of something completely new. Even if this ultimate cancel is not officially labeled as control, cancelling Sebastian's Ode to Serenity alone would push the game into a new era. Some players will remember the old days, when Arachne was used in a tank position and could ultimate before Sebastian. The result was brutal: the entire team would be locked under negative effects, and there was nothing you could do except watch your team slowly get destroyed. No counterplay, no recovery, just complete control. That's why I believe we're moving away from pure magic dominance and entering a control-focused era. And if that's the case, then now is exactly the right time to start developing Chorus if you haven't already. His value in this environment will only go up. Arachne won't be the only major threat here. There are multiple control heroes waiting to re-enter the spotlight, and one of the biggest names I expect to see again is Jorgen. If Fluffy can cancel Sebastian, then Jorgen becomes absolutely oppressive with his energy stealing. And if Sebastian and Chorus end up on the same team, Jorgen's impact could be even stronger. Of course, this is still speculation. Everything is based on the official information we have so far and logical assumptions built on existing mechanics. But my expectation is clear: teams relying on Sebastian will be far more vulnerable to negative effects, control chains, and energy manipulation. And let's not forget that Lian has been sitting on the bench for a very long time. In a control-heavy meta, she suddenly becomes very relevant again. On top of all that, Polaris will play a huge role. Northern Lights extending negative effects could be one of the most important tools in this new environment. If these pieces come together, we're not just talking about a strong new hero, we're talking about a shift in how fights are played, timed, and controlled from start to finish. So to sum it all up, Fluffy isn't just a new hero, he's a warning sign for the meta. He punishes basic attackers, threatens key ultimates, and pushes the game toward a control-focused era where timing and positioning matter more than ever. How strong he becomes will depend on real interactions, but one thing is clear: teams that don't adapt will fall behind. Now it's your turn. How do you think Fluffy will impact your teams, and which heroes do you expect him to shut down the hardest? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your insights always add value to this channel. If this video helped you prepare for what's coming, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future breakdowns. Stay ahead of the meta, play smart, and I'll see you in the next battle.